Wake up, sleepyheads.
It's party time! Yeah! This is the old Nooster coming at you right here on this fine Rocktober morning. It's the sweeping sensation that's sweeping the nation. I'm going to do it to you right here, right now. Wow!
Welcome, fellow Kiss fans. Welcome to It's All For You Demon, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan. My name is Rick. It's hoodie weather. It's October 1st, and tonight we're talking Trick or Treat.
Go, bear these tidings to great Lucifer. Say Faustus doth surrender up his soul, so he will spare him 24 years, to give me whatsoever I shall ask, to tell me whatsoever I demand, to slay mine enemies, and aid my friends, and always be obedient to my will.
Now, Trick or Treat starred Mark Price, who we all know as Skippy from Family Ties. Now, Trick or Treat is a horror movie semi-based on backwards masking, backwards messages, and Satanism in rock and roll and heavy metal music. Something my mom would have kept me far, far away from in 1986. Mark Price, Skippy, plays a character named Eddie Weinbauer who is bullied at school for his love of heavy metal music. He has a heavy metal idol named Sammy Kerr who went to the same high school that Eddie went to, grew up in the same town, and rose above it all to become a star of heavy metal. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to stay pretty spoiler free in case you have never seen this movie, Trick or Treat, as it is not widely available. Pretty much the premise of the story: Eddie Weinbauer loves a rock star named Sammy Kerr. Sammy Kerr wants to come back to the hometown and play a heavy metal show on Halloween night. Eddie Weinbauer begins messing around with those satanic messages, and all hell breaks loose. And as any good 80s horror movie about heavy metal music would do, this movie has to do with backwards messages from the devil himself. Now, I did not see this movie when it came out in 1986. I didn't see this movie till about 1989 when my friend Dan, who introduced me to Kiss, rented this movie on VHS, brought it to my house, but kept the satanic message to himself. He knew my mom, and he knew I would be scared and say, no, we better not watch that here. He tricked me. He tricked me. And when the satanic part starts and the backwards messaging takes place, I was like, man, gotta turn this down. I don't need my mom coming down here and hitting us over the head with the Bible. Luckily, she did not hear the satanic horror movie we were watching. It's not even really a satanic horror movie. It's kind of goofy, but it's fun. We watched the movie, and I became a fan of Trick or Treat. So, some of my favorite parts. First off, I love Eddie Weinbauer's high school. I began high school in the fall of 1988. So, from my freshman to my senior year, my high school had a very 80s vibe. My high school felt exactly like Eddie Weinbauer's high school in this film. Fortunately, I was not bullied the way Eddie Weinbauer was. Looking back, though, perhaps I should have been bullied. I mean, look at that. That is ridiculous. Next up, who doesn't love Eddie Weinbauer's room? Being a 14-year-old kid and beginning my Kiss room for the first time in my life, I really looked to Skippy's room as inspiration. Those posters he has, man, so much fun. And even to this day, my heart breaks a little bit when he tears down that Love Gun foil poster. My lord, what I wouldn't give to have that on these walls. And the Asylum poster? So much fun. Now, even though I was scared of parental intervention while I was first watching this movie, the backwards messages scenes are pretty fun. And who doesn't love the inclusion of this lady?
Mrs. Cavell.
Thank you, Maggie. You know, I've been a school teacher for 37 years, and there is an addiction that is reaching an epidemic proportion in our schools. I am referring to rock music.
Maggie, it's a sad day for all of us. But as a teacher...
For that is Alice Nunn, better known as Large Marge. As in me? Not you, Large Marge. The real Large Marge. The one you are named after. You know, and on a side note, it's pretty cool if you read up on the life of Alice Nunn. She moved to Hollywood, bitten by the acting bug in the 60s, and found roles on shows like Petticoat Junction, never really landing huge roles. But the woman's legacy in pop culture as Large Marge is phenomenal. Everyone knows Large Marge. And for accomplishing a feat like that, Alice Nunn, Large Marge, cheers. I also love the metal shop scene. Any kid that went to high school in the 80s remembers metal class, and they also remember bullies like Tim.
Hi, Eddie. We spent the entire morning on janitorial detail. You'd be amazed at what people stick under their desks. Did the headbanger bang his head?
I remember being 14 watching this and thinking Eddie's mom was hot.
Would you get to bed? It's after 11 o'clock.
Evangelist and moral crusader, the Reverend Aaron Gilstrom, who's dropped by with some visual aids. We're talking today about rock pornography, and I'll have to agree with you. We have some pretty ribald stuff here.
Hello, Skippy's mother. I also love how Eddie Weinbauer begins to dress once he has the confidence of Sammy Kerr behind him.
Edward, hey, Edward, where were you this morning? You missed the midterm. So? I'll make it up. You can't make it up. You flunked. Double goose eggs. Big deal. Hey, get a grip on yourself, man. Forget this vendetta thing. Dude, this is total Darwin. It's survival of the fittest. You want to live? You suck up to the fittest.
No. Never again.
Eddie. Hi. I heard about you and Tim. Are you okay?
Am I okay?
He doesn't remember. It's traumatic amnesia.
Oh, wow, your outfit. I love it. What are those?
Jeans?
They're you? Gotta go. Ciao.
And who also doesn't wish they had Eddie Weinbauer's power over jack-o'-lanterns? But most of all, for our sake, the important part of this movie is that it stars Gene Simmons.
Hey, Eddie. Eddie, he wasn't a god. This rock warrior bullshit.
Nobody understands him the way that I.
Eddie, you didn't know him. He was angry. He was always angry, even in high school. Eddie, he did this to himself. Don't you get it? He started to believe in his own hype. He did it to himself, Eddie.
Equipment. Look at this place. You believe it? Nothing ever works.
I got something for you. Know what this is? It's the last record of the Kerr legacy. Yeah.
They tried to ban him.
They couldn't stop him.
Whoop.
He's in here.
Are you gonna play it?
Midnight. Halloween. That was Sammy's idea.
Now, the filming for this movie would have taken place a little after the Asylum tour and right around the writing of Crazy Nights, which I believe Bruce Kulick may lay hint to in Extreme Close-Up when he mentions that at one point he talked to Gene about writing tracks for the new record, and Gene said, well, I'm shooting a film, why don't you come up and we'll see what ideas we can toss around. This was in the heyday of Gene's. Not so much involved in the Kiss Camp. An act that was rectified around revenge. Now, personally, I always thought it would have been much cooler to have Gene play the villain, Sammy Kerr, in this movie versus just playing the DJ. According to Gene, he was offered the role of Sammy Kerr, but turned it down after he read the script and wasn't that impressed. All in all, Trick or Treat is a fun 80s horror movie. Again, slightly goofy, but fun. And, given the fact it's October 1st, and you're possibly a Kiss fan, no better way to start off the Halloween season than with the Gene Simmons film, Trick or Treat. Thank you for hanging with me tonight. Take care, be safe, never stop having fun, and I will talk to you soon.
Trick or treats, Mama Pete.